I remember the first day I heard English. It was a sunny day and I was 7 years old. My father brought home a small radio. He switched it on and a new voice filled our home. It spoke in a language I did not understand. It was English. The words were strange but also beautiful. I felt curious. My father noticed my interest. He smiled and said, "This is English. It is a very important language." He explained how many people around the world speak English. He told me learning English would open many doors. I felt excited and wanted to learn more. Soon after, my parents enrolled me in an English class. I was nervous but also eager. My teacher was kind. Her name was Mrs. Smith. She had a warm smile and welcomed us all with open arms. Our first lesson was the alphabet. Mrs. Smith showed us colorful pictures, and each picture had a letter. A is for apple, she said, holding up a red apple. We repeated after her, A is for apple. We did this for every letter. By the end of the class, I could recite the entire alphabet. I felt proud. As days went by, we learned new words. Mrs. Smith used games and songs, which made learning fun. We learned words for animals, colors, and objects around us. I loved learning new words. Every new word felt like a new friend. One day, Mrs. Smith brought a big book, a picture dictionary. It had pictures and words for everything. She showed us how to use it. I spent hours looking at the pictures and learning new words. My favorite word was butterfly. It sounded so pretty. Learning words was fun, but speaking was a challenge. I was shy and afraid of making mistakes. Mrs. Smith noticed this and encouraged us to speak. She said, "It's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes help us learn." We practiced speaking in pairs. My partner was Sam. He was also shy. We helped each other, taking turns speaking simple sentences. "My name is," I would say. "My name is Sam," he would repeat. Slowly, we gained confidence. One day, Mrs. Smith gave us a surprise. She brought a box full of books. They were simple storybooks in English. She said, "Reading will help you learn faster." I picked a book with a bright cover. It was about a cat named Tom. Reading was hard at first, and I had to look up many words, but I did not give up. The more I read, the easier it became. I started understanding the stories. Reading became my favorite activity. I would read a book every night before bed. After reading, the next step was writing. Mrs. Smith gave us notebooks and asked us to write simple sentences. At first, I wrote about my family. My mother is kind, and my father is strong. Writing helped me remember words and sentences. Mrs. Smith checked our notebooks, corrected our mistakes, and always wrote kind notes like "well done" or "good job." This encouraged me to write more. I started writing short stories. They were simple but made me happy. One evening, my father brought home a DVD. It was a movie in English. He said, "Watching movies will help you learn." The movie was about a brave lion. At first, I did not understand much, but the pictures helped. Slowly, I started understanding more. Watching movies became a family activity. We watched cartoons, fairy tales, and adventure stories. Listening to English being spoken helped me improve. I started picking up new words and phrases. It was fun and educational. My school had an exchange program where students from English-speaking countries visited us. They stayed with us for a week. I was excited but also nervous. I wanted to make new friends but worried about my English. My new friend was Emma. She was from England. Emma was friendly and patient. We talked about our favorite things. She taught me new words and corrected my sentences. Spending time with Emma improved my speaking skills. I realized speaking English could be fun. Emma and I decided to keep in touch. We wrote letters to each other. Writing letters was a great way to practice English. I wrote about my daily life, school, and friends. Emma wrote about her life in England. Receiving her letters made me happy. Each letter was a lesson. I learned new words and phrases. I also learned about life in another country. Writing to Emma improved my writing skills and made me more confident in expressing myself. My parents encouraged me to use English at home. We started using English words for common things. "Please pass the salt," my mother would say. "Good night," I would reply. This daily practice helped me become more fluent. I also used English at the market. I greeted the shopkeeper in English and asked for items in English. At first it felt strange, but soon it became natural. Using English in everyday life made a big difference. Our school started an English club where we could practice English. We played games, watched movies, and had discussions. I joined the club with my friends. It was a great way to practice English outside the classroom. The club had many activities. We had spelling bees, storytelling sessions, and debates. I loved participating. Each activity helped me improve my English. I also made new friends who shared my interest in learning. During the summer, our school organized an English camp. It was a week-long camp in the countryside. We spoke only English during the camp. It was challenging but also fun. We had lessons in the morning and activities in the afternoon. We went hiking, played sports, and sang songs, all in English. The camp improved my English skills a lot. It also made me more confident. I realized I could speak English for a whole week without any problems. Participating in contests improved my skills and confidence. It also motivated me to keep learning and improving. The internet became a new tool for learning. I discovered websites for learning English. There were games, quizzes, and videos. I spent time on these websites every day. They made learning fun and interactive. I also joined online forums where I chatted with people from around the world. We discussed books, movies, and hobbies. This helped me practice my writing and reading skills. The internet opened up a new world of learning for me. My father subscribed to an English newspaper that arrived every morning. At first, I found it difficult to read because the articles were long and had many new words. However, I did not give up. I started with the headlines and short articles. Reading the newspaper improved my vocabulary. I learned about world events and new topics. My reading speed also improved. Soon, I started reading English magazines too. They had interesting articles and pictures. Music became a new way to learn English. I started listening to English songs. At first, I enjoyed the melody, but soon I began paying attention to the lyrics. I looked up the words I did not understand. Listening to music improved my listening skills. I also learned new expressions and slang. Singing along with the songs helped with my pronunciation. Music made learning English enjoyable. Our school organized English workshops. These were special classes with guest teachers who taught us new techniques for learning. One workshop was about public speaking, and another was about creative writing. The workshops were interactive, and we participated in activities and exercises. They helped me improve specific skills. I learned how to speak confidently in front of an audience. I also learned how to write stories creatively. I discovered mobile apps for learning English. They had lessons, games, and quizzes. I downloaded a few on my phone. The apps were convenient, allowing me to practice anytime and anywhere. One app helped with vocabulary, another focused on grammar, and there was also an app for pronunciation. Using these apps every day improved my skills. They were like having a personal tutor in my pocket. I started watching English TV shows. They were fun and entertaining. I chose shows with simple language. My favorite was a show about a group of friends. Watching the show improved my listening skills. I learned how people spoke in real-life situations. I picked up common phrases and expressions. Watching TV shows also improved my pronunciation as I tried to mimic the way the characters spoke. Our town had many tourists who spoke different languages, including English. I decided to practice with them. I greeted them and offered to help. Most tourists were friendly and appreciated my effort. Speaking with tourists was real-life practice. It helped me use English in everyday situations. I also learned about different cultures. It was a great way to improve my speaking skills and confidence. I started writing a diary in English. Every night, I wrote about my day. I described what I did, how I felt, and what I learned. Writing a diary helped me practice writing regularly. It also helped me reflect on my progress. I could see how my English improved over time. Writing about my thoughts and feelings improved my vocabulary and grammar. It became a habit that I enjoyed. Our school held English contests, including essay writing, speech, and spelling contests. I decided to participate as a way to challenge myself. I prepared by practicing and studying. The contests were tough but rewarding. I did not always win, but I learned a lot. Each contest improved my skills and boosted my confidence. I started using social media in English. I posted updates, shared articles, and commented on posts. Social media was a great platform to practice writing and reading. I connected with people from different countries. I joined groups and pages about my interests. We discussed books, movies, and hobbies. This helped me improve my writing and reading skills. It also made learning English more social and fun. I enrolled in advanced English courses that focused on specific skills like writing, speaking, and listening. The courses were more challenging and required more effort and practice. The teachers were experienced and helpful. They gave us feedback and tips to improve. These courses helped me refine my skills and prepared me for exams and certifications. I decided to take an English exam, an international test that tested all my skills: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Preparing for the exam was hard work. I studied grammar, vocabulary, and practice tests. I also took a preparation course to enhance my chances. The exam was challenging but rewarding. Passing with good scores was a proud moment. The certification opened new opportunities for me. My dream was to visit an English-speaking country. My parents supported me, and we planned a trip to England. I was both excited and nervous as it was my first time traveling alone. England was beautiful, and I stayed with a host family who was kind and welcoming. Speaking English every day improved my skills significantly. I visited schools, museums, and parks. I made new friends and learned about the culture. After school, I got a job that required English skills. I was happy to use what I had learned. I communicated with clients and colleagues in English, which was a great way to practice and improve. Using English at work improved my professional skills. I wrote emails, made presentations, and attended meetings. My English proficiency became an asset and opened doors for career growth. I discovered online courses that were flexible and convenient. They allowed me to learn at my own pace. These courses covered various topics, including business and academic English. I enrolled in a few courses which included videos, quizzes, and assignments. They were interactive and engaging, helping me improve my speaking, writing, and listening skills further. I started exploring English literature, including classic books, poems, and plays. Though challenging, it was enriching. I began with simple books and gradually moved to more complex ones. Reading literature enhanced my vocabulary and comprehension. It also introduced me to different writing styles and a deeper understanding of the language. I made friends who were also learning English. We practiced together by having conversations, reading books, and watching movies. Practicing with friends was fun and motivating. We helped each other with grammar and vocabulary and shared tips and resources. Learning with friends made the journey enjoyable and supported my growth. Throughout my journey, I made mistakes. I mispronounced words, used incorrect grammar, and misunderstood meanings. However, I learned from each mistake. My teachers and friends encouraged me by correcting my errors kindly. I realized mistakes were an essential part of the learning process. They helped me grow and improve. Every milestone in my journey was a reason to celebrate. Learning the alphabet, reading a book, writing a story, and passing an exam were all achievements. Celebrating these moments motivated me to keep going. It reminded me of how far I had come and gave me the confidence to set new goals. I started teaching English to others, including younger students and friends. Teaching reinforced my knowledge and brought me joy. It required patience and creativity. I used games, stories, and songs to make learning fun. Seeing my students improve was incredibly rewarding. Learning a language also means learning the culture. I explored English culture through books, movies, and music. I learned about traditions, festivals, and history. Understanding the culture deepened my appreciation of the language and made learning more interesting. I traveled to countries where English was spoken, which provided real-world practice. Navigating airports, hotels, and restaurants improved my communication skills. Meeting people from different backgrounds built my confidence. I joined English communities, both online and offline. These included clubs, forums, and groups where we shared resources and practiced together. Being part of a community was motivating. I made friends, learned from others, and stayed connected to the learning journey. My journey to learn English was ongoing. I set new goals like reading more books, writing better stories, and speaking more fluently. Each goal provided a new challenge and kept me focused. Looking back, my journey to learn English was filled with challenges and rewards. It required effort, patience, and persistence, but it was also enjoyable and fulfilling. I realized learning a language is a lifelong process. I shared my story to inspire others. I encouraged them to start their learning journey and take small steps daily. Learning English opened many doors for me, and it can do the same for anyone. I embraced lifelong learning, with English being just one part of it. I wanted to keep growing by exploring new skills and knowledge. If you are learning English, keep going. Practice every day, celebrate achievements, and learn from mistakes. Surround yourself with English and use it in your daily life. Remember, this journey is about growth and discovery. Building vocabulary is crucial for speaking English well. Start by learning words you use daily, like table or door. Practice using them in sentences to make them familiar. Reading simple books or watching videos can introduce new words. Write them in a notebook and use them in conversations to reinforce your memory. Good pronunciation makes communication easier. Pay attention to how words are spoken in movies or by native speakers. Practice mimicking their pronunciation and record yourself to identify areas for improvement. One way to improve your English is by listening to how native speakers talk. Pay close attention to how they pronounce each word and try to imitate them. You can use online videos or English language apps that focus on pronunciation. These tools often allow you to repeat after the speaker and check if you are saying the words correctly. Another helpful technique is to practice speaking in front of a mirror. Observe how your mouth moves when you say different words. This helps you see if you are pronouncing words correctly. Additionally, you can record yourself speaking and listen to the playback. Compare your pronunciation with that of a native speaker to identify areas for improvement. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes. The more you practice, the better your pronunciation will become. Many people are afraid to speak English, especially in public. This fear can hinder learning, but it's important to remember that everyone makes mistakes when learning a new language. To overcome this fear, start by speaking English in safe environments. Practice with friends or family members who are supportive. You can also practice by talking to yourself at home. Say simple sentences like, I am eating breakfast, or I will go to the market. The more you practice, the more confident you will become. Another way to build confidence is to start small. Don't worry about speaking perfectly. Focus on communicating your message. If you don't know a word, use simple language to explain what you mean. For example, if you forget the word umbrella, you can say, I need something to protect me from the rain. Over time, speaking English will feel more natural, and your fear will gradually fade. Understanding different English accents can be challenging, but it is essential for effective communication. English is spoken in many countries, and each has its own unique accent. To familiarize yourself with various accents, listen to English speakers from different regions, such as the UK, the US, and Australia. You can find videos or podcasts featuring speakers from these areas. Pay attention to how words are pronounced differently. Don't worry if you don't understand everything at first. Your ear will adapt with time. Try repeating sentences you hear to practice. For instance, if you're listening to a British speaker, notice how they pronounce words like water or schedule and mimic their accent. This practice will help you adapt your speech and improve your ability to understand and communicate with people from diverse backgrounds. Using idioms in conversation makes your English sound more natural and engaging. Idioms are phrases whose meanings are not literal, but are commonly used in everyday speech. For example, it's raining cats and dogs means it's raining heavily. Learning idioms can be fun. Start with the most common ones and aim to learn one or two each week. Practice using them in sentences. For instance, if you learn the idiom break the ice, which means to make people feel more comfortable, you can say, I told a joke to break the ice at the party. Using idioms in real-life conversations helps you remember them better. Over time, you'll use them naturally, impressing the people you speak with. Practicing with native speakers is one of the best ways to improve your English. Native speakers can help you learn how to use words and phrases correctly. If you don't know any native speakers, you can find language exchange partners online. These are people who want to learn your language while helping you learn English. You can talk to them through video calls or chat messages. When practicing with a native speaker, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Most native speakers understand that English is not your first language and are usually patient and helpful. Ask them to correct you if you say something wrong. This feedback is invaluable and will help you improve. Over time, you'll become more comfortable speaking English, and your fluency will increase. Role-playing common situations is an excellent way to practice English. Think about scenarios you often encounter, such as ordering food at a restaurant, asking for directions, or making a phone call. Practice these situations in English, either with a friend or by yourself. For example, pretend you are at a restaurant and say, I would like to order a pizza, please. This practice helps you get used to speaking English in real-life situations. You can also write down conversations you might have, such as making an appointment. For instance, you could write, "I would like to make an appointment with the doctor," and practice saying it aloud. The more you practice, the more natural these conversations will feel. Role-playing prepares you for real-life situations, making it easier to speak English when needed. Listening to English media is an excellent way to improve your spoken English. By listening to podcasts, audiobooks, and movies, you expose yourself to different voices, accents, and vocabulary. Choose media that you enjoy to make listening a fun activity. Start with simple content, such as children's stories or educational podcasts for English learners. As you improve, try listening to more complex materials like news reports or movies. Pay attention to how people speak, including their tone, speed, and rhythm. Practice repeating sentences you hear to improve your pronunciation and intonation. For example, if someone says, "I'm going to the store," repeat it in the same way. Listening and repeating helps you become more familiar with natural English speech patterns. Technology is a great tool for practicing speaking. Many apps and websites help you practice English by speaking. Some apps allow you to have conversations with virtual characters, while others connect you with real people worldwide. These tools are convenient because you can use them anytime, anywhere. They also provide instant feedback, helping you improve faster. Another way to use technology is by recording yourself speaking. Many apps have a recording feature that lets you listen to your voice. You can compare your recordings with native speakers to identify areas for improvement. This practice increases your awareness of your pronunciation and speaking style. The more you use these tools, the better your spoken English will become. Understanding grammar is important for clear communication in spoken English. However, you don't need to master all the rules to speak well. Focus on basic grammar rules that are most useful in daily conversations. For example, learn how to use simple tenses like the present, past, and future. Mastering these basics will give you a strong foundation for communicating effectively in English. Practice making sentences like, "I eat breakfast every day," "I ate breakfast yesterday," or "I will eat breakfast tomorrow." Pay close attention to word order in sentences. In English, the structure usually follows the pattern of subject, verb, and object. For example, she, subject, plays, verb, the piano, object. Practice creating sentences with different subjects, verbs, and objects. This exercise will help you speak more clearly and avoid common grammar mistakes. Over time, using correct grammar will become easier and more natural. Doing daily speaking exercises is an excellent way to improve your fluency. One simple exercise is to talk about your day in English every evening. Take a few minutes to describe what you did during the day. For example, you can say, "Today I went to the market. I bought some apples and oranges." This exercise helps you practice using past tense while talking about everyday activities. Another exercise is to pick a topic and speak about it for 1 minute. For instance, choose a topic like "my favorite food" and talk about it in English. Don't worry about making mistakes. The goal is to get comfortable speaking English. You can also practice by reading aloud. Pick a simple text or book and read it out loud daily. This improves your pronunciation and speaking speed. The more you practice, the more fluent you will become. Staying motivated while learning English is crucial. Learning a new language takes time, and it can sometimes be challenging to stay focused. Set small, achievable goals for yourself. For example, aim to learn 5 new words each week or have a short conversation in English every day. Celebrate your progress no matter how small. This will help you remain positive and motivated. Another way to stay motivated is by reminding yourself why you are learning English. Maybe you want to travel, make new friends, or get a better job. Whatever your reason, keep it in mind. You can also join a group of people learning English to support each other and share tips. Remember, it's okay to take breaks when needed. The important thing is to keep practicing and not give up. The shadowing technique is a powerful way to improve your speaking skills. Shadowing involves listening to a native speaker and repeating what they say as quickly as possible. This helps you practice pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. To start, find a short audio or video clip in English. Listen to a sentence and immediately repeat it out loud, copying the speaker's tone and speech speed. Begin with slow and simple sentences, then gradually move on to faster and more complex ones. Shadowing helps you get used to speaking quickly and naturally. It also improves your listening skills since you need to pay close attention to what the speaker is saying. Regular practice with this technique will significantly enhance your fluency and pronunciation. Visual aids can make learning English more engaging and effective. These include pictures, videos, charts, and other materials that help you understand and remember words and phrases. For instance, if you're learning the names of fruits, look at pictures of apples, bananas, and oranges while saying their names. This creates a connection between the word and the image, making it easier to remember. Videos are another excellent visual aid. Watching English videos with subtitles helps you learn new words and see how they are used in context. For example, watching a cooking video can teach you vocabulary related to food and cooking. Try describing what you see in the video in English. This practice reinforces new vocabulary and enhances your speaking skills. Intonation, the rise and fall of your voice when speaking, is essential for conveying meaning and emotion in English. For example, when asking a question, your voice typically rises at the end. Are you coming? To practice intonation, listen to native speakers and observe how their voices change during conversations. Try to mimic their intonation patterns. For instance, if someone says, "I can't believe it," notice how their voice rises to express surprise. Practice saying the same sentence with the same intonation. Mastering intonation will make your English sound more natural and help others understand you better. Group discussions are an excellent way to practice speaking English with others. In a group, you can discuss different topics, listen to others, and learn new words. Join an English-speaking group or create one with friends. Choose a topic to discuss, such as movies, books, or current events. Take turns speaking and try to use new words or phrases you've learned. Group discussions also improve your listening and responding skills. For example, if someone says, "I like reading mystery novels," you can respond with, "Me too." What's your favorite book? These interactions help you practice speaking naturally and enhance your conversational skills. The more you participate, the more confident you'll become in speaking English. Making mistakes is a natural part of learning any language, including English. It's important to view mistakes as opportunities to learn rather than failures. If you mispronounce a word and someone corrects you, try to remember the correct pronunciation and use it next time. Keep a language journal to note any mistakes you make while speaking or writing in English. Review your journal regularly and practice the correct way to say or write the words. Over time, you'll notice fewer mistakes and increased confidence in your English skills. Remember, every mistake you make brings you closer to mastering the language. Breaking down complex sentences into simpler ones makes it easier to express yourself in English. Instead of trying to convey a complicated idea in one long sentence, divide it into smaller parts. For example, instead of saying, "I was late because the bus didn't come on time, and then I had to walk," you can say, "I was late. The bus didn't come on time. Then I had to walk." This approach allows you to express your ideas clearly without worrying about grammar mistakes. As you improve, you can combine sentences to make them more complex. For instance, "I was late because the bus didn't come on time, so I had to walk." Practicing this technique helps you feel more comfortable speaking English, even when you have a lot to say. Understanding the cultural context of language is important for effective communication. English is spoken in many cultures, and language use can vary significantly. For example, some cultures are more direct in their communication style, while others are more indirect. Learning these differences helps you avoid misunderstandings and communicate effectively. To learn about cultural differences, watch movies or read books from various English-speaking countries. Observe how people interact, such as greetings in the UK versus the US. Talking to native speakers and asking about their culture is another great way to learn. The more you understand cultural context, the better you'll be able to use English appropriately in different situations. Setting realistic speaking goals is key to making progress in learning English. It's great to be ambitious, but your goals should be achievable. For instance, if you're a beginner, don't aim to speak like a native speaker in a few months. Instead, set small, manageable goals, such as learning 10 new words a week or practicing speaking for 10 minutes daily. Once you achieve a goal, set a slightly more challenging one. For example, after learning 10 new words a week, try using them in a conversation. Setting and achieving these goals will keep you motivated and allow you to track your progress. Remember to be patient with yourself. Learning to speak English fluently takes time, but with consistent practice and realistic goals, you will improve. Remember, improving your English skills is a journey that requires patience, practice, and persistence. By following these tips and techniques daily, you can make steady progress toward speaking English fluently and confidently. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, as each one is a valuable step toward mastering the language. If you found this content helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support means the world to us and helps us create more content to assist you on your English learning journey. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.